Welcome back, and if you've just joined us, you're watching DEJI 360, and we're discussing the President's Democracy Day speech. And with me on the program is Muyiwa Akintunde, who, of course, joins us from Lagos, and we have Dr. Abubakar Kari, who is joining us from Abuja. Mr. Akintunde, sorry, we lost you at some point, and thank God you're back. But, you know, we've actually discussed a lot on the issue of the president's, the president's speech now on the issue of, one-party state. But let me get your last take on it before we discuss the issue of that honors list, the honors list now by the president. You look at our political parties in this country. Do you think there's any difference, there's any difference between the political parties at all? And don't you think this lack of difference could be responsible for why you continue to have this consistent and frequent defections as well? And do you think there's a need to probably amend the laws of this country so that, political defection can be prohibited completely, at least while you're in office?
Okay, let me take it from the last bit of your question, which is to outlaw defection. That's the right way that's the right thing to do. That's the right way to go. But the kind of politicians we have in Nigeria, I think they're a special breed. Every law that you come up with, they will always find a way around it. Don't forget that even now, defection is not encouraged in our constitution.
At least defection in the legislature.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Yeah. One of the ways you can defect legally is if your party is fractionalized, and not just fractionalized at the local government level, but fractionalized down the line from national level to the world level. Your party, there is a division in your party. That's the only way you can defect from one party to another party. That law is yet to catch up with those in the executive, like the governors and the president. But regarding lawmakers at either the state or federal level, you cannot just defect and give a very flimsy excuse. But because defection is to the party that is in power, there is a lot of compromise. The party in power will not.
Don't you think even the law, that law itself doesn't help matters? Because some people will tell you that law is not quite clear enough, because it's not quite clear enough, politicians are taking advantage of it. So what happens if, for instance, the law says, look, under no circumstance should you defect from, if you've been elected on the platform of one party, under no circumstance should you defect from that party now to another political party, that otherwise you would lose your seat. If it was as clear, as that, probably politicians would be taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I agree with you that the law should be strengthened. It should be clearer than it is now. There should be no ambiguity, because any human being will always want to explore ambiguity in the law. But because the principle is very simple. You are elected on the basis of in fact, if you remember very well, a lot of us know that when you are going to vote, you don't actually have the name of the candidate on the ballot. It's the party that you have on the ballot. And it's expected that when you leave that political party for whatever reason, you are leaving that political party, you should leave the seat, because it's on the basis of that political party that you got to that office, whether as an executive or. So I agree with you that that law needs to be strengthened, so that we don't have to begin to look for other conditions, for instance, to prove whether the party was divided down the line or whatever. So that's the way that politicians find a way around it. So it's very shameful, very, very shameful that you can wake up in the morning with one political party, in the afternoon you join another political party, before the end of the day you cross over to another political party. What message are we sending to the electorate? Why will people be encouraged to go and vote? But people vote for political parties. They don't vote for individuals as such. Yes, individuals may have their own input into it, but essentially it's the political party who are voting for. So when we talk about voter apathy, this is one of the reasons why voters don't really care. But it doesn't really matter. Imagine in Delta and Akwa Ibom State, at least Delta State, all of them have moved from one political party to another political party. But that was not the political party that people in Delta State voted for.
That's true. That's true. No doubt at all. Let's quickly talk about the national awards now. That list, of course, generating a lot of talking point, and there are arguments from some quarters that there are certain names that were omitted, names that are not there that should be there. But generally you look at the principles of it and the whole idea behind it. What's your take on it, Mr. Akintunde?
Well, when we talk about the principle behind it, I don't think anybody could fault the fact that we need to honor those who have in one way or the other, paid either dearly or otherwise for the kind of democracy that we have. I mean, we all know what happened even before June 1993. We've been battling to have democracy in Nigeria. We do have military intervention from time to time. Eventually, we were able to, in 1999, have a democracy that has endured so far, at least for 26 years now. We've had that political, and so some people played significant role in ensuring that we did this. Some people did not compromise. Some people sacrificed, people sacrificed their life, their work, everything, and so they needed to be recognized. So, in the principle, it is very, very, very logical, and I support it. But yes, there are omissions. I mean, like yesterday, when the list came out in one of the platforms I belong to, some people were complaining about, particularly those who are recognized in the media for fighting for democracy. At one point in my life, I worked in Newswatch, and it does appear as if those in Newswatch, at the time I was there, that was when we were also part of the democracy movement. Nobody was recognized there. So somebody flagged in the group I belong to. And then others started talking about, what about Concord? What about this? What about this media organization? What about this? So, I mean, clearly, and the message that came from the presidency was that, look, we have noticed some of the errors that people pointed out, and we will do something about it. Quickly, they corrected some of the people that they announced as being postponed award, like Dr. Ebima Dunagu, for instance, is still very much alive, but it was classified as postponed award. So I want to commend the president for doing this. First, also the president also commended the immediate past president, Muhammadu Buhari, for even getting to the level of acknowledging that MK Abiola won the election in 1993, June 12. I mean, that has been controversial over the period. And therefore also declaring that June 12 is Democracy Day. So in principle, I agree with you. I commend the government for that, but they need to correct some of those errors that were highlighted.
Mr. Kari, what will be your take on the issue, the honors list?
Yeah, first and foremost, the president has the exclusive prerogative to decide who to honor. But I agree with critics that there are many who have not been honored. But I want to believe that it's a continuous exercise. I don't think this honoring is going to terminate this year. So, but when next he is honoring even the heroes of June 12, there are certain individuals and groups that eminently deserve to be recognized. At that time, I was actively involved in the student union movement. And I know how we fought valiantly for the revalidation of June 12. So much so that in my own locality in Bauchi, I was called June 12. It became my nickname, you know? Yes. And as at that time, I was an expelled student of the University of Abuja. And our Vice Chancellor found it very conveniently to hide behind June 12 and label our matter as a June 12 problem. And that was why we never returned to school until after the demise of General Sani Abacha. But if Tinubu intends to next time honor the heroes of June 12, there are people who, who fought so valiantly for June 12. One of them was Colonel Abubakar Dangiwa
Yes,
Umar.
that's true.
He lost his commission in the military as a result of June 12. In the media, there are so many journalists. Muyiwa Akintude mentioned the stable of Newswatch. There are others too. In the Student Union movement, the then president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, beginning from Olusegun Mayegun, Nasiru Kura, Dennis Etim Inyang, Omoyele Sowore.
I was even going to ask you about Omoyele Sowore. Don't you think he should have been awarded?
Yes, as president of the University of Lagos, at that time, I was his guest at Unilag. He led series of protests to Abiola's house. At a point in time, he literally shot Lagos down. So there are many others. Therefore, it is my considered view that next time, Tinubu and his handlers should really go back into history, identify these individuals and groups, and honor them appropriately.
And I think it really doesn't matter whether they are in the opposition or not, or they hold a different political view.
It doesn't matter. Yes. Honor is given to who
yes.
it deserves. Even though my friend Sowore, I don't know why he did it, but he has the right to do it. That if he had been called upon, he would have sued Tinubu for defamation. That, I believe, is a political intolerance. Because if he's to be honored, he'll be honored for what he did at that time.
Yeah.
So, irrespective of his political differences with Tinubu, he shouldn't say what he says.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for coming on the program and sharing your insights with us. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate this. Thank you, Mr. Akintude. Thanks a lot. And Dr. Kari, thank you for coming on the program. All right, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go away.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI 360, dissecting the issues.